Hello learners. On behalf of School of Vocational Education and Training, I, Urshla Kant, welcome you all to this session on the course MSEL 037 of the program Master of Science Information Security, that is MSCIS. I hope you all doing well. As look around today's world and you will see that daily life is more dependent on technology than ever before. The benefits of this trend range from near instant access to information on the internet to the modern conveniences provided by smart home automation technology and concepts like the Internet of Things, that is called IoT. With so much good coming from technology, it can be hard to believe that potential threats lurk behind every device and platform. Yet, despite society's rosy perception of modern advances, cybersecurity threats presented by modern technology are a real danger. A steady rise in cybercrime highlights the flaws in devices and services we have come to depend on. Companies use the practice to protect against phishing schemes, ransomware attacks, identity theft, data breaches, and financial loss. So that is why information security is very, very essential at this point of time. And this program, MSCIS, that is Master of Science in Information Security, is very, very important, by which we can safeguard our vital information against such threats. The aim of our program, as you look on the screen, is to spread awareness of information security and protection. This is the very needful aim of our program. Second aim of our program is to provide protection and security to personal data and to build data-oriented infrastructure in the companies. And also our aim is to raise high professional ethics in the individual and students toward providing information security, and also to experiment and learn the skills and techniques which are needed for providing protection and security to our information. So at this point of time, our basic need is to protect our information. So this is the high time at this point of time. In this program, the topic which we will discuss today is the course that is MSCL 037. It is the practical course, comes under semester 4 of MSCIS program. So as you look on the screen, there are the 6 courses are there in semester 4. The first course is MSE 033, that is called Web Application Testing and Audit. Second course is MSc 034, that is E-Commerce and Cyberspace. The third course is MSc 035, that is IoT Security, that is Internet of Technology, that is Security. The fourth is MSc 036, that is Latest Trends in Information and Cybersecurity. And fifth course is MSCL 037, which is the topic of today's session. This is the practical course, having all the practical issues which are covered under the MSc 033, MSc 034, MSc 035 and MSc 036. And the last course is MSCP 038. That is the project course. These courses comes under semester 4. So this MSCL 037, this course is a practical course which introduces you to the practical work with the most powerful concepts, that is our web application audit, mobile app audit, malware detection and mitigation, and IoT device auditing. These practicals are based on the courses of MSc 033, 34 and 35, which I have already told you in the beginning. So you are required to gain the hands-on experience on this practical component of these courses. After completing this course, you will be able to solve the problems for various techniques of web application audit, mobile app audit, malware detection and mitigation, and IoT device auditing. So these are the topics which are very currently used nowadays, and we have to develop the various techniques to protect the information. So this is the most important aim. In order to have better understanding, you are advised to get the conceptual clarity. That is the first step, to get the conceptual clarity of the concepts from the theoretical study material. And as you see, our study material is very simple in the language, and it is written by well-known experts of information security, and language is very simple, and teacher is inbuilt. So if you will read our study material, it will be very easy for you to understand the concepts of this information security. So in this MSCIS 037, this is the practical course based on those concepts, and then implement those understanding to solve the problems which are given in the various sessions of this course. This practical course is having 4 lab sessions. As you look on the screen, the first lab session is on web application audit. The second is lab sessions on mobile app audit. The third lab sessions on malware detection and mitigation. And the fourth lab session is on IoT device auditing. So these are the 4 topics which we are covering today in MSCIS 037. So we will begin with the lab session of web application audit. As you know, website application audit, it is a complete review of all the elements and the features influencing a website search engine visibility. This aseptic technique provides thorough insight into any website, overall traffic, and specific pages. The main goal of the website audit is to identify the features and the existing vulnerabilities in the website programming. The objective is to apply benchmark tools to evaluate the performances and weaknesses that damage the website performance. So this is the website application audit, which is very important, and you should understand why we require website application audit. It covers the principles of web application audit and also understand the important term, that is OWASP. The full form of OWASP is Open Web Application Security Project, which is used to identify the various common attacks exist in any web application. It includes the hands-on practices to implement various tools and attacks to identify the services and the severity level of the coding in any web application. So this is very important. Now I will come to the learning outcomes of this unit, that after learning you should be able to recognize and describe the common security vulnerabilities in web application. For example, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, that is called XSS, this is called cross-site scripting, and broken authentication and session management. Also, you are able to use a vulnerability scanning tool, that is very important, such as Burp Suite or OWASP ZAP. That is OWASP, I have already told you in before. So this is important to understand. And you can use this OWASP ZAP to scan a web application for the security purpose. Also, you can analyze the results of the vulnerability scan and prioritize the vulnerabilities based on the severity and impact. After completing this unit, you will also able to develop a plan to remediate the vulnerabilities which you will identify in the scan report, including the prioritizing the fixes and recommending the specific action to mitigate the risk. You can also use the manual testing techniques to verify and validate the results of the vulnerability scan and also identify the additional vulnerabilities that may not have been detected by the scanning tool and demonstrate the impact of a successful attack. So these are the learning outcomes after completing this unit. Also, you are clearly and brief in the document about findings and recommendations in a professional report, including executive summary, detailed technical findings, and actionable recommendation for remediation. So you have to develop a report also, and also you have to demonstrate the ethical conduct throughout the auditing process, which includes respecting the confidentiality of the client, adhering to ethical hacking principles, and also obtaining the appropriate permission for testing. So now I will discuss about the sessions which you will be covering in this unit. The first session is to understand the operating system. Okay, what is operating system? What are network services and open ports on the web server? You have to identify the detailed PHP version and configurations. Also, you have to specify the technical specifications of the target website application by applying the footprinting techniques. So these footprinting techniques are very, very important, and you should know how to apply this technique to find out the target website application. Also, DNS records which are only for any live website, and whois records which is only for any live website. So this is the first session. And the second session, you need to identify the features of mobile responsive design, CMS, details of SSL certificate for a target website. So you will be provided with the website which is called target website, and you have to perform this practical in the computer lab. So you need to go to your study centers to conduct these experiments and to perform this in the computer lab. Now I will come to the third session. That is, you need to explain with the example DVWA emulator and list the vulnerabilities which are covered by it. This is the third session you have to perform. The fourth session, you need to identify the open ports on the web server along with the OS detection technique and running services using Nmap utility. And the fifth session, you need to identify the level of severities using ZAP proxy server. Now in the sixth session, you need to identify the level of severities using burp suite and apply the interception technique and temper the data submitted via any web form. In the seventh session, you need to apply Google Docs and identify the websites which are based on log files, open FTP server email list, live cameras, audio, video, and PDF files. In the eighth session, you need to use manual testing techniques to verify and validate the results of the vulnerability scan, identify the additional vulnerabilities that may not have been detected by the scanning tool, and demonstrate the impact of a successful attack. The ninth session includes the report finding. You need to write the report and recommendations, which include an executive summary, detailed technical findings, and actionable recommendation for remediation. Then the 10th session In this, you need to demonstrate the ethical conduct throughout the auditing process, which includes respecting the confidentiality of the client, adhering to ethical hacking principles, and obtaining the appropriate permission for testing. So these are the 10 sessions which you need to perform under this Unit 1. Now I will come to the lab session on mobile app audit. This is very important. The mobile application audit, it is a critical process that helps to evaluate and test the security, functionality, and overall quality of a mobile application. We have already provided the step-by-step guide in your study material. You need to study those steps in your study material, and that how to perform a mobile application audit. The learning outcome of this unit will cover that you need to explain the architecture of mobile application, which includes different components such as user interface, data storage, and network communication. You need to be familiar with common security issues in mobile application. For example, authentication, authorization, data leakage, and malware. Malware is very important. We will discuss in the next unit. Then also you need to identify the vulnerabilities in mobile application such as insecure data storage, weak authentication, and network communication issues. Then you need to conduct the various security tests on mobile application such as penetration testing. This is very important, penetration testing, vulnerability scanning, and also the code review. You need to propose and implement the measures to mitigate security risk in mobile application such as encryption, access control, and secure coding practices. Now I will discuss about the 6 steps as you look on the screen. These 6 steps are used for mobile application auditing process. These are the steps which are very important. The first step is define the audit objectives. So this is the first step. As you know, first of all you have to define what are your objectives. So this is the first step. Second step is identify the audit scope. This is also very important, identification. Then step 3 is determine the audit methodology. The fourth step is prepare the audit environment. Fifth step is conduct the audit. And the sixth step is document and report the results. So these are the 6 steps, and the details of 6 steps you will find in your study material. Go through your study material. As I already told you, the language is very simple and very easy to understand. Now I will come to the sessions on this mobile app audit. The first session is to study the application of industry standards and best practices for mobile application security. The second session is to list about OWASP mobile top 10, and you need to apply them in practical session also. The third session covers identification of vulnerabilities in mobile application such as insecure data storage, weak authentication, and network communication issues. The fourth session is installation and use of mobile application auditing tools such as penetration testing, vulnerability scanning, and code review to identify the vulnerabilities and also to conduct the security testing. The fifth session is to write the technical reports documenting the vulnerabilities found in the system. The sixth session is to demonstrate the practical skills in identifying and justifying the security risk in mobile application. The seventh session covers the application of industry standard tools and techniques for mobile application development and security. The eighth session is to recommend measures with justification for tackling security issues in the organization. The ninth session is to propose and implement the measures to mitigate the security risk in mobile application such as encryption, access control and secure coding practices. And also the 10th session is to list the suggested measures for regular mobile application auditing of business. So these are the 10 sessions which covers in Unit 2. Now I will come to the third unit, that is lab session on malware detection and mitigation. As you know, malware is very important and you need to understand what is malware. So this unit covers the practical skills that you will gain during the practical sessions in identifying, analyzing and mitigating the malware infections using the industry standard tools and techniques. These skills are highly valuable in today's cybersecurity scenario and will prepare you for the careers in cybersecurity and malware analysis. The learning outcome of this unit is, after you completing this unit, you will be able to identify different types of malware, that what are the different types of malware are present around us, and understand their behavior such as self-propagation, data theft and system disruption. You need to recognize the symptoms of malware infection such as slow system performance. So if your system will be infected by the malware, then the system will run slow. Also, the unexpected pop-ups and unusual network security activity will be there. You need to apply and use the various malware detection tools such as antivirus software, network scanners and intrusion detection system to identify and isolate the malware. You need to develop mitigation strategies to prevent malware infections such as security policies, software patches and user awareness trainings. You need to respond to malware incidents by isolating the infected system, removing the malware and restoring the system functionality back to the normal. And also you need to write the technical reports which documents the malware found, the impact on the system and the recommended mitigation measures. Now I will come to the steps. These are the 7 steps as you look on the screen. These are the 7 steps which you need to follow for malware detection and mitigation. The step 1 is the set up a lab environment. This is the first step. The second step is identify the malware samples. The third step is conduct malware analysis. The fourth step is use malware detection tools. The fifth step is develop mitigation strategies. The sixth step is conduct incident response. And the seventh step is report findings and recommendations. So these are the 7 steps which you need to follow for malware detection and mitigation, and the details you will find in your study material. You will read it and apply it. Now I will come to the sessions which covers under this unit. The first session is to analyze a malware sample using IDA Pro or similar tools to understand its behavior and purpose. You have to develop a report and also you need to submit it. The second session is to understand the control flow of the code and identify its functionality. The third session is to use antivirus software to detect and analyze the malware samples. You need to experiment with different detection settings and also you need to report your results. This is the third session which you will perform in the computer lab at your study centers. The session 4th is to apply network traffic analysis tools to analyze the network traffic for signs of malware activity, that what malware your system has been infected. So you need to find out that and submit the report on its and its findings also. The fifth session is to use antivirus software and specialized tools to clean the system without causing further damage. Practice malware removal using a virtual machine infected with malware. This is also very important in this session, the fifth session. In the sixth session, you need to use a rootkit scanner to detect and remove the rootkits from an infected system and present it in a report. The seventh session is on use a virtual computer, practice incident response methods while simulating a malware assault, also analyze the danger, stop the infection and stop more harm from occurring. The eighth session is to make a strategy for the incident's reaction to a fictitious malware attack. You need to create a plan document and present it during the session. The ninth session, you need to use a vulnerability scanner, which we have discussed in the earlier units also. So, vulnerability scanner to evaluate a system vulnerability. Analyze the finding to find any possible weak points. So, this is the session 9. And in session 10, you need to use penetration testing tools to simulate the hacker attack. You need to find out who is the hacker and to find out that hacker attack on a system, document the results and present them in a report. So now I will come to the last unit, that is lab session on IoT device auditing. As we have very short time now, so we will discuss in very briefly that what is IoT. That is the Internet of Things, which have become more and more common in recent years, and as a result the need for auditing their security has become crucial. So this is very, very important. And we will quickly understand that after learning this unit, you should be able to understand the concepts of IoT devices. You need to identify the different types of IoT devices and their unique security features. You need to understand the IoT ecosystem. You need to conduct vulnerability assessment of IoT devices. You need to analyze the firmware of IoT devices. You need to apply various auditing techniques and report the findings from the IoT device auditing activities in a clear and concise manner. Now we will discuss very quickly the 6 steps which are involved for IoT device auditing. The first step is identify the types of IoT devices. As you look on the screen, the second step is understand the IoT ecosystem. The third step is conduct vulnerability assessment. The fourth step is analyze device firmware. The fifth step is access network security. And the sixth step is evaluate device authentication and authorization. So these are the 6 steps which are involved for IoT device auditing. So the details of these steps are there in the study material, and as I told you, our study material is very, very simple in understanding. The language is very simple. If you will go through the study material, you will find the concepts are very, very simple to understand. In this, there are different sessions also. Like first session is understand IoT device auditing and overview of IoT device and their vulnerabilities. The second session is hands-on exercise, scanning and mapping the IoT devices on a network. The third session is to understand the importance of configuration management and perform activity on IoT device configuration assessment. The fourth session is to understand problem-solving skills, discussion on common configuration issues and their impact on security. The fifth session is hands-on exercise, which is auditing the configuration of IoT devices using configuration assessment tools. The session 6 is identify the vulnerabilities in IoT devices and their impact on security. The seventh session is understand penetration testing methodology and tools. The 8th and 9th session is on hands-on exercise, which is performing the penetration testing on IoT devices to identify the weaknesses and potential exploits. and the 10th session is to develop report and present the results during the session. So these are the 10 sessions which is under this unit 4. So today we have completed the MSCIS 037. This is the course which comes under the semester 4th of MSCIS program. I hope you enjoyed the session today, and if you have any further query, you can write an email to our email ID, that is mscis@ignou.ac.in. So happy learning.